wanted to get into this article from Neil Greenberg from the Washington Post. He's got 5 NFL futures bets for us to lock in on before the season starts.
All right, I haven't looked at these, so these are going to be brand new to me.
All right, we'll just start at the top. He likes the Bucs to win the NFC South, and you can get that at plus 100 or better.
Mm-hmm. So even money.
He says this is an easy one. The Bucs are poised to clinch their 5th consecutive NFC South title. They're the only team in the division expected to be above average according to the implied power ratings derived from the preseason point spreads released in May.
I mean, when you look at their division, do you expect anything from the Saints?
Certainly not.
I mean,
no.
Carolina, are they going to make a huge
It'd just be the Falcons.
Falcons are the only team I think could challenge them.
Huge to win the division.
Carolina could make a huge jump. They have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL.
Wow, I'll be surprised. And then Atlanta.
And remember, their quarterback played a lot better towards the end.
He made strides.
People were like bailing on him, and then he became pretty decent towards the end of the season.
But for them to unseat Tampa, I think
they have to go a long way.
It's a long shot, but
yeah,
it's not like Tampa won 14 games last year. They won 10, and it came down. Didn't it come down to the last game to get into the playoffs last year? Tampa?
I don't recall for Tampa, but
I think they got in based on the last week.
But they've got all 11 starters back from last season. They add Emeka Egbuka to the offense. I mean, that offense could be scary with Baker Mayfield, with all the weapons that he's got. He's got Evans, he's got Godwin, he's got McMillan in year 2, I believe, and Egbuka. Like, that is a loaded offense down there.
They went out and got Hassan Reddick to add to the defense. So I would like that. It would be. I'd probably would take the Falcons just because they'd be plus money.
Yeah.
But
what are the Falcons on the plus side?
I'm guessing they're probably plus 150 or plus 160.
All right, it didn't come down to the last week because the Falcons finished 8-9, but I think there was a brief moment before Washington gave the Falcons the business where the Falcons were atop the NFC South. Mm-hmm. So it did kind of go down on the wire.
I don't know. I like it. So far, I'm in.
So he's got the Bucs at plus 100. His second pick is for the Denver Broncos to win the AFC West at plus 245 or better. Neil says he's bullish on Denver, not only to win the division, but to go over 9.5 wins and as a flyer to win the Super Bowl. However, the divisional futures bet appears to be the best value play.
It's an anti-Chiefs bet.
It's a.
Are you betting against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs?
Well, that's why you're getting plus 245 or better, because the Chiefs are obviously the favorite in that division.
Why am I expecting the Chiefs to fall off? Like, give me reasons of things.
I guess you would say that they got lucky last year. They won a lot of games. I mean, they were fortunate to win a couple games, right? There was missed field goals and just blocked field goals at the end of games. They won at the end.
They won a lot of games by less than a touchdown.
There should be some negative regression coming their way.
Yeah.
If things play out.
And they lost the Super Bowl. A lot of teams that lose the Super Bowl have a horrible year the next year.
All right. I just think that this team's too veteran. I just don't see it.
Yeah, Neil says at the bottom of the last paragraph in this section, the biggest hurdle for Denver is obviously the Chiefs, who have dominated the AFC West with 9 consecutive titles. That's why the price for the Broncos to win is what it is.
What is the price? Plus, what do you say?
Plus 245 or better.
To win the division?
Yes.
I see plus 340.
That's the or better, I guess.
Yeah. And by the way, the Falcons were plus 230, not plus 160. So Falcons might be a good bet.
I don't know. I would bet on Kansas City. But
Kansas City had 11 wins last season where they were trailing, including 5 fourth quarter.
What about the Chargers in the West? In Harbaugh's second year,
they could be a threat.
I think it's another one easily that could thwart. Denver.
I mean, they've got a running back now. They've got a couple actually.
But until proven otherwise, I am going to kind of bow down to the Chiefs until proven otherwise.
It's hard to bet against them.
Yeah.
I mean, they've won 9 consecutive division titles.
And I listen, as much as I was a champion of all of these quarterbacks, as none of them being particular busts, I'm not convinced that Bo Nix is just going to be like a 10-year starter and just, repeatedly take the team to the playoffs.
All right, Neil's third bet here is for the Ravens to win fewer than 11.5 games. That's at minus 110 or better. He points out that the Ravens' early season sked is challenging, including matchups against the Bills, Lions, and Chiefs in the first 4 weeks. The Ravens haven't won at Kansas City since their Super Bowl season back in 2012, and Lamar Jackson is 0-3 at Arrowhead. Based on the implied power ratings for these teams, there's a 53% chance the Ravens start the season 2-2 or worse.
Toss up that they start 2-2.
Yeah.
Not saying 93%. He's at 53%.
The Bills, they open up at Buffalo. Is that a Monday night game or is that a Sunday night game?
I think it's Sunday night.
It's a Sunday night game.
Sunday night game. And
I'm not in the business
Browns
of betting
winner.
Ravens.
Browns easy winner week 2. Lions, I mean, that's going to be challenging, but it's at home. And then that at the Chiefs, that's a tough first month, no doubt.
I'm just not, as long as Lamar's healthy and Derrick Henry and those guys, it's hard for me to bet against them.
His fourth bet is for the Cincinnati Bengals to miss the playoffs, and he's getting this at plus 115 or better.
Wow.
Says the Bengals have missed the playoffs in consecutive seasons, finishing 9-8 in both 2023 and 2024.
I officially hate this one.
You're not a fan of this one?
No. Officially hate this one.
Neil points out
why? Because you think the Bengals will make the playoffs?
Yes. Correct.
What's their schedule strength?
Well, he says the schedule's challenging. They play 6 teams in 8 games that are expected to be above average. 5 of those games on the road.
Weren't they hoard too with like a short break between primetime games?
Well, they have a Thanksgiving night game on the road against the Ravens.
They play the Bears on the 26th of October, and then they play at Miami on the 30th of October.
Right.
Yeah.
They
got hoard.
That's tough. But
they need to win a game at the beginning of the year because Zach Taylor in September has a horrific record as a head coach.
In fact, what is their number to make the playoffs?
I'll tell you right now.
I'll just bet it.
To make the playoffs.
You're just betting the Bengals blind?
Yeah. Well, I mean, these are all blind. I mean,
right.
I think.
Ready?
Yeah.
To make the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Bengals currently are minus 176.
Exactly.
So almost 2-1, or 1-2.
Yeah, I'm with the book on this one. In fact, I won't bet that because I don't think that's a great bet, but I agree with the sentiment.
You know what Washington is?
To make the playoffs?
Just to make the playoffs.
I'm going to guess minus 160.
It'll be hard, man.
Lower.
Minus 125. Ding.
Yeah, I can't.
It's pretty low.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
I don't know.
Not a lot of faith out there.
I mean, but I think we're going to be fine. What I picked up, like 11 wins, probably got a little ahead of my skis there a little bit, but over my skis. I think Philly will be hard to see them drop off. Detroit, I don't think Detroit's going to win 15 games, but they'll probably win 12 or more. Tampa, I think, was a no-brainer to probably go. I guess, is everyone just saying the Rams have reloaded and they're resurgent? Is that what sort of the conventional wisdom is?
I remember almost every year, half these teams that make the playoffs drop off.
So
that's a little aggressive. It's not half.
I'm giving the division leaders the nod, and then below that, I think we're in the mix for a wild card. So,
All right, the last of the bets here is...
I think they're in the mix to win the division.
These are the longest odds. He has Jared Goff to be named MVP.
Oh, I hate that.
At plus 2,500 or better.
I just don't like Jared Goff.
He points out a quarterback has won the MVP award each of the last 12 seasons, not just any quarterback. In each of those seasons, the winner played for a team that was its conference's number 1 or number 2 seed. According to the latest betting odds, the most likely conference winners are the Eagles, Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, and Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the starting quarterbacks of those teams have MVP odds of plus 1,700 or shorter, except for Goff, who's listed at plus 3,000.
All right, so he's doing it just based on it's a great odds.
It's a great value.
Yes.
Because I think I would bet on Josh Allen. I mean, there's a lot of guys I'd bet on before.
Right.
You're still getting good numbers on all those other guys.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but 3,100 that's a big plus.
Has Josh Allen won league MVP before?
He won last year.
Won last year. Yeah.
And in fact, it wasn't as close as people thought. I just saw a story that somehow the accounting firm botched it.
You're kidding.
No, but it was just like one missed ballot. It didn't affect it, but
yeah, but that's one of those things where they're supposed to be like perfect.
Yeah.
Now it makes you question the NBA draft lottery.
JD is the 5th favorite to win the MVP.
Jaden Daniels is
5th.
I wouldn't bet on him to win the MVP.
It's good to be top 5 preseason.
So what are the odds then?
Plus 850.
Might have to make a small wager.
It's Lamar at plus 5, Allen at plus 6, Mahomes at plus 6, Burrow at plus 6, and then JD at plus 850.
You know what? This is kind of people. I mean, do people talk about this? Is this kind of like a golden age? These guys, those top 5-6 guys, those are beasts.
They're Hoffers.
Yeah. I know we always have kind of good quarterbacks, but I remember there was supposed to be a time where there was like a dearth, post Brady and Manning, et cetera. That's already been.
There's a lot of hand wringing about. Drew Brees retires. Who's going to step into the void?
The top four are ridiculous, and then if you throw Jaden Daniels in there, I mean Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. And who am I missing? Lamar. Those four.
They throw in Jalen. I mean, he had a resurgent year last year. I mean, no one talks about Dak, but there are times, like every other year, Dak puts up incredible numbers.
Back to golf, he finished 5th last year.
Mm-hmm.
He was the 4th quarterback.
Yeah,
because it was Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff. So, for a smart money play, throw a few shekels.
Yeah. And Neil closes with saying some analysts are down on Detroit, which lost both of its coordinators, and on Goff, but they shouldn't be. Despite the unexpected retirement of Frank Ragnow from the offensive line, the Lions' offense remains formidable with Pro Bowl talent in running back Jahmyr Gibbs and wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Right.
Jameson Williams emerged last year as a number 2 threat behind Amon-Ra as well.
I'm just waiting for Goff to turn into a pumpkin. He did against us in the playoffs, but
we'll see what happens with Ben Johnson. I mean, if you think about that game, Ben Johnson got a little too cute when he had Jameson Williams pass the ball.
Yeah, I mean that was an idiotic play.
That was just dumb.
That was one of Sanders Still's picks.
That's Ben Johnson saying I'm smarter than everybody.
Yep.
Now he had the Jameson Williams trick play, which he took to the house too, but it was like he was trying to show off everything in his bag, as they say,
auditioning for his next gig.
Yeah.
I would like to, again, we touched on this a little bit. I wish I was better at math, or that I need to figure out 3 or 4 MVP bets. It could kind of like narrow it down to these 3 guys I think are going to win it. And then, they're going to be a winner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're getting such good numbers. Like, if you put Lamar, Josh Allen, and give me one other guy, and you put $100 on each.
Yeah,
Jaden.
As long as one of them wins,
you're gonna make money.
Yeah,
but
an outsider could come in.
If the 4th guy wins,
right. Yeah. But who would be your top 3 if you had to bet on 3 MVP guys? You put Lamar, Josh, and then
probably
Mahomes.
Burrow.
Probably
Burrow over Mahomes.
I don't know.
Yeah, Mahomes. I'm sleeping.
Maybe you just do the top 4.
Oh, they do 4.
Yeah, maybe do the top 4.
How
and
is one of those guys not going to win MVP?
Derrick Henry has 20 touchdowns, maybe.
What if Goff has a huge? What if Barkley puts up another 2,000 yards and they finally give it to our RB?
But he didn't even do it.
I know. I'm just wondering if he'll get more votes if he does it again.
Barkley cannot duplicate that.
No, because he's on the cover of Madden, so he's probably gonna get hurt in week 6.
I can't see him.
But Eric, you're spending $300.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're spending $300.
Right.
To win 500. So you're
that's
cutting.
if my lowest one hits.
I know. So you're cutting yourself. You're spending 300 for a profit of 2.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, but if I thought it was guaranteed.
I know. But you have a 5-1, a 6-1, and then what was Burrow? 9-1,
Mm-hmm.
9.5-1.
To I think he was also 6.
Listen, I know it never works. I always do it with golf bets, and I always lose.
I know, but what I'm
in
saying is you're spending that much money and then
to win very little. I understand what you're saying. But if what you do is you hope your longest shot hits it.
Yeah, but your longest shot's
It's
only
6-1.
That's what Burrow is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Allen, Mahomes, and Burrow are all equal.
Yeah. All right, I guess it's not worth it.
You'd have to throw in.
I thought some of those were like the ones we were talking about were like plus 1,500.
No, you'd have to throw in. Well, it depends on where you're looking, but you throw in a Herbert or throwing in a Goff or throwing in, Jaden. You'd have to hit on one of those guys.
Right.
And Jaden doesn't pay out that much.
No.
Right. All right, you convinced me. I'm out.
All right, don't forget, coming up later in the show, we'll be joined by Andy Johnson, founder of the Fried Egg and the Shotgun Start podcast. He's going to join us coming up at 9 a.m. here on The Junks.